Noticed while I completed all these ceiling mounts and the cross braces and support and everything else was when I shook it, I heard some rattling going on at the can lights that the electrician has put in place at the top. These cans, right? I asked on the forum as to what I could do regarding this, and what I was told was that I could basically putting electrical tape around all the loose fittings, right? And then Mississippi Man suggested putting a friction tape around the perimeter, right, of the whole thing. So what I did was, friction tape was definitely more expensive than electrical tape, but not by much. I mean, it was just $3 a roll, so I had to use 2 rolls. So what I did was I bought the friction tape, and basically if you look at this, all of the rattling has been wound using that friction tape, right? This is the one can light, the second can light, the black is really the tape, the third can light, and the fourth. Of course, you will never know until the sheetrock is up and the music starts playing, but at least this is the best I could do at this time. Now, the other piece of important thing that I wanted to do, really, if you look at the top, right, there's a HDMI wiring going right to the back to the projector, the one that's hanging there. Ideally, the best practice here is to put a conduit so that your HDI craps out. You have a pull string running through a conduit, and you can put another HDMI without having to rip out the ceiling. But if you're looking at this is one of the key disadvantages of this room, is there's really no place to put a conduit. There are ducts running all over the place. If you look at this, 1, 2, 3, 4. There are 4 ducts in between. There's no way a 1-inch conduit would fit. I bought the really flexible ones too, but even the ductwork is not really aligned, right? They're not all in one line parallel to each other. One is up, one is down. So it's really incredibly difficult to route a conduit through it. So I gave up on the idea. I'm going with one HDMI. If it fails, I'll have to see if I put a cable raceway channel or maybe crown molding through which I can route the wire. But that's pretty much what I can do. That's the best I can do right now. However, I did think about doing an LED connection, LED lights around the ceiling. And what I want to do is really create a crown molding here and put the lights under that. So what I did was created this conduit channel over here. If you look at this, right, is basically the orange box at the top, an orange tube running to the bottom to another orange box. And I can use the conduit to basically run the wire through. So that's my idea. I have the conduit, and once I do the crown molding, then I'll know if that's going to be okay. Some folks suggested running a conduit through the soffits that you have here, but the problem is these soffits are not really running through the room, right? They're stopping in between. So really, I tried my best to put a conduit, but I really can't. I think these are some of the sacrifices or compromises that you've got to make in a space like this. Talk about is really insulation. If you look at this room, 2 of the walls are really the outside walls, so they already have insulation. So I'm being heavily recommended by folks that these interior walls, a small wall over here, and the other wall, the screen wall at the back, it will be helpful to install the Roxol Safe and Sound insulation. I'm thinking about it. It's quite expensive. Each roll is like $51, so I've got to see if the cost is really worth the benefit and see if I should do it. And then folks are also recommending to put Roxol on the ceiling. If you look at it, the old owner had actually left behind some insulation here. And I don't really know if that's going to be really helpful to do the Roxol on the ceiling. It's going to be fairly expensive, and for what I don't understand to what end, because I don't really care about the sound escaping from this room to upstairs or the upstairs noise coming here. This one is just under the living room, so it's not going to be a huge deal, even if the noise travels down or travels up. So I think I'm going to probably skip the ceiling. One thing though is people recommended at least getting a 5/8 inch drywall for the ceiling. A contractor actually was planning to use a 1/2 inch drywall, so I basically upgraded that to a 5/8 inch. The extra cost is about $100. but I think it's worth it. Several people suggested to go the 5/8 inch drywall, so the ceiling is going to be a 5/8 inch. So apart from that, I'm still thinking about this insulation. Hopefully this was a good introductory video in terms of what I'm planning to do and the design considerations that have gone on till now and the construction that has happened so far. I hope to keep you updated on the progress of the build. The sheetrocking is going to commence in another 2 days. And after that, after the sheetrocking is over, we've got to go through the steps of flooring, the painting and everything else, and then the actual theater construction with the screens and everything will start. But at least this gets me to a point where all the preparatory work has been done, and everything from here is really going to build upon this. So hopefully this video was useful. Please do leave your comments. If you have any questions, please feel free to ask. Thank you so much for your time. Really appreciate that.